you have bioantennas and that they send signals and they receive signals, right? Well, antennas sending signals is how reality is created. This is where we get into all the fun conversations that we could spend hours on as well, right? Like
Yeah.
I love talking about pseudosciences. I love talking about the quantum field. I love talking about everything. But realistically, it all boils down to signals and resources. If you have the right resources, when you receive a signal, you're able to then send a signal. If you don't, then you receive the signal and then you have to process the signal. And
That's the nature of the human being.
Yes.
That's the divine nature of the human being.
Yeah.
Sending and receiving,
Yeah.
communication, and an implied symbiosis, because to have something sent, you need something to receive.
Yep. And so what happens is now, because we live in a world with mostly critical health, people are backlogging that information. So they're getting all these signals, but they're not able to share signals back. And so what you get is what I call psychic vampires, people that don't know that they're doing it, right? I'm not saying that they're trying to actively take from you, but they only know how to take because they don't know how to share. And the reason they don't know how to share is because they're getting all these signals and it's backlogging and they're just trying to get it out of them. And so they just start dumping all of their misunderstandings on you all at once. And they can't help that. And the reason is because we don't live in spaces like, and short of going out into a real forest. And again, there's a difference between engineered forests and real forests.
Oh my goodness.
In short of going to a real forest, there's no place to go and get your bioantennas retuned, which is why the quantum energy wellness bed became such an important part of the process, is like being able to live the life that we live. Because I don't foresee in the next 100 years us coming out of boxes and changing. Maybe we'll move to domes. That's a hope for me. We'll maybe move into geodesic domes and come into like bioceramics and all that fun stuff. But in the next 100 years, how do we live better the way that we are now? Obviously, it's great to create choices, right? And there are people that live on the fringes of society and they're doing the best that they can to create choices there. I came and tackled the problem with here we are now. How do I build stuff from here to the future so that people can make better choices as they are without having to give up their life that they've created? Because to ask somebody to make a radical life change to go live in the forest for the rest of their life, well, that would be ideal in like the bioantenna perspective. It's not ideal from the mental perspective because you have your parents and your entire lineage is misunderstanding. So how do you resolve those things that you have misunderstood when you're only in nature? You can't. And the reason is because you have this thing called echelons. I have misunderstandings in my life that can only be played out through interaction with human beings in boxes like this because my parents had misunderstandings and their parents had misunderstandings and their parents had misunderstandings. And so lineage density that we take on as birth has to be resolved in these boxes. But we are strong enough to remove those boxes by choosing actions and changing our cellular memory.